Inclusive growth is important for many reasons, but the big reason is that inequality is becoming one of the most serious issues in our time.
We need to be sure that we have economic growth, but that economic growth reaches everybody and that everybody can bring in their best to increase also the economic growth of a country.
Well, inclusive growth is really about making sure that growth translates into progress for everyone. It's about putting people back at the center.
In our inclusive growth and development research, we have concluded that there's a range of institutions in an economy, and what we call as economists structural policies, that together determine how broadly the benefits of economic growth are diffused in terms of living standards for the people in an economy.
To achieve inclusive growth, you need to have a permanent dialogue between, the traditional economic part of a country, the business community, the Ministry of Finance, the productive sectors, with the social portion of these policies. Achieving reductions in inequality and eliminating poverty is part of the economic progress of the country, so they need to work together. And that dialogue is highly complex, highly difficult to achieve.
I think every company has to look at the issues in the world today and figure out how it can assist, how it can address those issues. I think there's a moral responsibility for companies, but there's also a practical responsibility. The issues in the world today are far bigger than can be addressed by governments alone, by governments and civil society alone. The private sector has to play.
We realize that there is a constant need to generate, document and share evidence of innovative practices that work for inclusive growth. We realize also that there's a need to learn from failures.
What we are doing with the IDRC in Canada and the World Bank is to create a platform that does a couple of things. One is that it is distilling from worldwide experience some of the leading practices in several different dimensions of inclusive business practice, what companies can do.
Well-documented experiences can help all actors, governments, the private sector, and civil society to take concrete actions to realize inclusive growth aspirations. They foster learnings on what works, what doesn't, and what is doable. And we need more examples to catalyze positive change. Proven solutions that are good for the economy, but also good for society.